I'm not sure where to start. In all honesty, I'm not. We just gave the 76ers their first preseason win this year, and not really a close game. It was a 16-point game. And guess what? We went against the complete opposite of what I said we should do yesterday. Maybe I don't know ball. Maybe I'm not a ball knower, but I don't know. If your first preseason game is October 22nd, you haven't looked super awesome all preseason outside of one game versus the Nuggets and another one versus a China team that you didn't even play your starters in a single minute. What are we doing? You know, I don't totally understand the thought process for preseason. I thought you want your guys looking good. No one looked outstanding in the preseason for the starters. We've had a lot of bench guys step up and, start to fill some roles that we were questioning who's going to get the playing time where. And those questions have been answered. But I saw Anthony Edwards shoot poorly in the preseason. If I'm Finch, I'm marching him back out there for this last preseason game. I'm making him play in Philadelphia. Sorry, not sorry, Ant. You didn't play well. It's time that you have to show a little effort in the preseason. I don't get trying to lose these games. Now I don't think Ant should be playing 30 minutes like Tyrese Maxey, who played 30 minutes. Like the Philadelphia 76ers don't make a lot of sense. We just let Joel Embiid win his first basketball game that he's played in 8 months. 8 months of no basketball, and he comes back and drops 14 points in 19 minutes. 4 turnovers, 8 assists, 7 rebounds. Like, whole dude, I understand he's Joel Embiid, but 8 months of no basketball. We don't want to roll out any starters just to put the 76ers in their place. We'd rather just let them treat us like a scrimmage. Like, what? Are you kidding me? VJ Edgecombe, if we're talking 76ers, he looked great. All honesty, he did. Nothing that we can really say about that. I'm annoyed. At the end of the day, it's preseason. It doesn't matter. But if we come out sloppy against the Blazers, who is a team we should wipe the floor with, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to bring up how little the starters played in the preseason. It's honestly, in my eyes, it's dumb. It's a dumb move to not play your guys at least like one full game, at least, just to see what you are working with. If anything needs to be worked out, like I maybe last game was that against the Bulls, but like didn't feel like it and it didn't look good. You didn't even have Naz Reid played a minute, so I don't totally understand. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's move on to a bright spot, and that is Leonard Miller arriving. Now, whether that means he's going to arrive somewhere else when we trade him, or he's actually going to get to play some minutes finally, either option is incredible because he has some trade value now that he's looked capable in the preseason, or he's looked like he can actually play some real minutes for us. Yeah, 31 minutes, 7 for 10 shooting, 2 for 3 or 2 for 4 from the line, 5 for 5 for 3 free throw, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, and 21 points. Yeah, I like those numbers from him. I will not complain about that by any means. That is just good work all around. Clearly, it showed that he can score, he can rebound, he can assist, he can play at both sides. I'm kind of hoping he's going to step up because at this point, let's look at him. It's definitely the last year of his deal, which is crazy. He's been on the team for like 3 years and he just turned 21. There's no way we're letting this guy walk. We can't let a guy who's that young and fits the timeline of everything, if he can actually develop a little bit more this season and step into being a role type guy, I'll keep him around. 21 years old, he can be a role guy for the next 10 years. Let's sign him back. Um, Absolute bright spot. I'm happy to see him arrive because for the last obviously 3 years it's been Leonard Miller. He's going to be next up. He might be next up now. He's dominated the G League every single time that he's played it. So it's time to just go full NBA with him, see what he's got for at least this year. If we hate it, and we let him walk. Probably just let the Celtics sign him. They have like 3 of our former guys now. They have Josh Minot, Wendell Moore, and Luka Garza. Like, what are you building over there, Celtics? Give us our guys back. Give us our bench squad. Hate seeing those guys all together. Makes me sad. Uh, Moving on once again. Talking about Leonard Miller here. Talking about, the rest of the guys. I think this preseason honestly was used to see what we have for our bench. We know what our starters are looking like. It's not even a question who's going to be where for starters. The bench is an absolute question. Off my head, we have 7 8 guys who are for sure locks. The team can field about 15, a couple two-way guys in there as well. So we have 8 guys for sure locks. Ant, Jaden, Rudy, Randall, Conley, Dante, Nas, Rob. That's 8. That leaves you roughly 7 spots. In my head, obviously, you go Terrence Shannon Jr., Jalen Clark, Jean Berenger, Bones Highland, and Johnny Juzang. But Bones Highland, honestly, didn't really play super awesome. He didn't impress me more than anyone else here did. He's on the deal, so you probably just keep him. And your two-way guys are probably Rocco and then maybe this Jules Bernard. I like what he's been doing for us the last couple games. He hasn't been incredible by any means, but I like what he's been doing. In the preseason, he hasn't looked horrible. So I would prefer him to be the other two-way guy. And that's kind of the squad, which is crazy to think about how cleaned up this roster is. There's not a lot of question marks anymore. I'm excited. I'm really excited about this roster. I think it has a lot of potential in all aspects, from the bench to the starters. Everyone's finally coming into their own. It's no more like, oh, they could be the team. They could do it next year. Now, it's our turn. We took our lumps against the Mavericks. We took our lumps against the OKC Thunder. No more lumps. It's our turn. And that just feels how the NBA is. You hear every analyst say it oh, they haven't lost yet. You have to lose to win. And it is pretty true, just looking at some of the past champions. Now I'm just brain farting. The Thunder, got whooped up on in a couple playoff series. And then you have the Celtics before that. The Celtics, who obviously lost to the Warriors in 2022. And then before them, the Nuggets, obviously they had a long path to get to where they were. Before that was, obviously, we don't even have to bring up the Bucks and what they were looking like. But it's just you take your lumps and then you get yours. You might only get one in today's NBA. You'll be lucky to get one. I think it's going to be very tough to come out of the West. And so we have our work cut out for us, but we're looking solid in terms of a whole team. I don't like how we're going to start off the season. We always seem to start off a little slow under Finchie, whether that's, a rotating roster the last couple of years or just, I don't know, just his coaching style, it feels like. I think we're not going to look ready on Wednesday. Preseason starts Wednesday, October 22nd. We play the Portland Trailblazers, which I've alluded to a little bit, but yeah, I hope we look ready. It's really going to be tough. I feel like they're going to just come out. They're young and they're hungry, and hopefully Anthony Edwards just drops a career high. He says he wants to drop career highs on the bad teams. I would label the Portland Trailblazers right now a bad team. Let's look ahead, shall we? Looking ahead to that game. Who do we got? All right. I don't even know where to start with this team, dude. The Blazers are just a dumpster fire, in my opinion. Depth chart is saying Drew Holiday, Shaedon Sharpe, Denny. I'm not trying to say Denny's last name. I'm never trying to say Denny's last name. Kamara, however you want to say it. Donovan Klingon starting. And then you got guys like Rayan Rupert, who I've never heard of. I don't think I know basketball. Obviously, we're talking about Timberwolves here almost every day. I don't know who that is. Jeremy Grant and Yang Hansen coming off the bench. Caleb Love, nice. I did not know he was third string point guard there. Cool stuff. But you see what I mean? This is not a team that we should be struggling against. That's the God's honest truth, we should struggle against some teams in the league. Obviously, we're not a perfect roster by any means ourselves. That's a bad roster. That is not a great roster right there. We should be able to go into there. Oh, we're on the road. We should be able to go into their house and whoop a little butt. Yeah. Not much scaring me there. I really think we're going to look fine. All of our guys were on injury list. What is going on here? Every guy is listed. The only guy that's out for the Blazers, probably out for this game, is Scoot Henderson, who's someone we talked about trading for in the off season here, and obviously that's not going to happen. But I'm excited for the preseason, or to yeah, no, I am excited for the preseason to be over. That's what I was trying to say. I'm very excited for the regular season to be here. No more fake basketball. No more talking about the off season. We've done it. We made it through what is feels like the longest off season ever, even though I'm pretty sure it's like one of the shortest ones in all of pro sports. But we did it. And on Tuesday, we'll come back here and we will break down Wednesday show, we'll break down the game versus the Blazers. And then on the show you guys will watch on Thursday, I'll talk about the game. So until then, we'll talk then. And that's pretty much all I got for you. This is Timberwolves Today, and I'm Tyrus. Take care, y'all.